You're never gonna see this on any mainstream news.
This ain't what you want, this is what you need.
Ain't never forget.
Yeah, they made us slaves, hung our kids from trees.
I never forget.
Nooses on our neck, whipped us till we bleed.
And they gotta get it.
Hey man, call it Galatians 3:13.
Woo.
You're now tuned in to Precept upon Precept.
Crew so strange. Look at how low they hang. Oh man, took out the chains. So when the wind blow, we just swing. Much oppression, never killer. Breaking dreams, that is bitter. Ready, set, pull the trigger.
Israel united in Christ. We are not a hate group. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Israel United in Christ is a nonviolent Bible-based movement. We do not advocate, condone any acts of violence against any race, ethnicity, or gender. We advise that if anyone hears or knows of any plots to cause harm to anyone or to break the laws of the land, you must contact the proper authorities to bring awareness to any possible threat as stated in Leviticus chapter 5 and verse 1.
Hey, shalom, Israel, Most High in Christ. Bless. Welcome to the late show, Precept upon Precept. Want to give a shout out to Captain Shim. He couldn't be with us tonight. All praise to the Most High. We got the honor of holding it down. I'll be your host. I'm Officer Micah.
Officer Yasa.
Officer Akiem.
Officer Solomon.
So like we always do, we're going to get started with the Watchman Report with myself. Let's go, Texas. Hey, shalom, Israel, Most High in Christ. Bless. Thank you all for staying with us for the late show. We're going to get right into it. Let's get the articles going. All right, second day of Trump-Xi summit tests appetite for deals. So I don't want to get too heavy into this right now. We're going to get into it on the show. So let's get the next article. Senate defeats seventh attempt to limit Trump's Iran war powers despite new GOP defection. Can't make it up. All right, Trump to meet Xi at Communist Party's leadership compound in Beijing. All right, come on with it. All right, listen to this. Cuba says CIA chief visited Havana as energy crisis worsens. Who you think got a hand in all of that right there? Live updates. Seized ship taken toward Iran as Trump and China's Xi agree Strait of Hormuz must remain open. So the ship just up and disappeared. We'll find out was more to it. All right, so this is what I want to get to right here. Scroll up real quick. Hold on, before you do. Go back. Because a lot of people ain't paying attention to this. 5 questions answered about the current hantavirus. I think that's how you say that. Cruise ship outbreak by a TXST microbiology and virologist specialist. Scroll up. I want to get to where it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's gonna be real quick. All right, what exactly is hantavirus? All right, so when you get time, check this out. Just to let you know that it's a virus that's primarily carried by rodents. Humans usually become infected after breathing in tiny particles contaminated with rodent urine, dropping, or saliva in Americas. So it's a virus that comes from rodents, rats. Scroll up to the second one. It said, why is a cruise ship outbreak so concerning? Cruise ships create ideal conditions for infectious disease spread. People live in close quarters, share dining and recreational space, and often spend days or weeks together with limited medical resources on board. You're in close proximity with somebody who's sick. The chances of you getting sick are higher. All right, number 3. This is important. Pay attention. What symptoms should people watch for? Fever, muscle aches, fatigue, headache, chills, nausea, or abnormal symptoms. So pay attention to fever, muscle aches, things of that sort. All right. Is the public at risk is the public at risk of a larger outbreak? Right now, public health agencies say the border public risk remains low. All right. So they said the same thing about the we already know the other one. Last but not least, are there treatments or vaccines for this virus? Unfortunately, there is currently no approved specific antiviral treatment or all right, so I can cut it. Make sure that you're paying attention to your health. Do the things that you need to do to be healthy, and you can avoid certain sicknesses. So that concludes the Watcher Report.
You are now flying.
We the sons of God, we don't back down. Looking good, I'll take it to your face, I tell you right now. Right now, step up to the camp, we ain't backing down. Looking good, step up to the camp, I tell you right now.
All right, all praises. So we got a lot going on with this thumbnail. Trump's Chronicles, Venezuela 51, and the Chinese Connect. Follow the money, follow the power, follow the truth. Alsakian, what we got going on with this thumbnail? Like a lot going on here.
All right, so with this thumbnail, as you see, we starting, if you look at the top, we starting in Washington, D.C., where Trump is at. Then we going over to Venezuela, where Trump took over. And now they're trying to connect with the Chinese. So we got to see, like I say, follow the money, follow the power, follow the truth. Now we got the moving thumbnail for some more details. Let's get the moving thumbnail. Sound. All right.
All praises. So we got a good show lined up for you all tonight. So let's get the first. We're gonna go on over. Let's get the first video. Let's get number one. Let's find out what's going on right now, because some of our people may have fell asleep and they don't realize that America went over, took was the president of Venezuela, put a bag on his head, took a Maduro, brought him back with a jumpsuit on. Now they negotiating deals with, how you say, China. Ain't that how you said it after you put the tariffs on China?
China.
But guess what? We went to China. China didn't come to us. That means a lot.
That means a whole lot.
If I want something from you, I come to your house. If you want something from me, you come to my house.
Because not too long ago, we're gonna dig into it. They have tariffs. They put tariffs on China. They sent a lot of work to China and they put some tariffs on China. So let's see how the residents are perceiving China. Let's see how they perceive America. Yeah, I'm gonna have to read it.
President Donald Trump will meet with Chinese President Xi Jinping over the course of 2 days. During the visit, the two heads of state will exchange in-depth views on major issues on China-U.S. relations, as well as on world peace and development. China is willing to work with the U.S. to uphold the spirit of equality, respect, and mutual benefit, to expand cooperation, manage differences, and inject greater stability and certainty into a turbulent and changing world. Residents are hopeful the two leaders will strike a deal to loosen some restrictions. My job involves imports and exports, so tariffs hit us really hard.
So hold on. Read that again. Read that part again.
Imports and exports, so tariffs hit us really hard.
It says her job involves imports and exports. So tariffs hit them hard. Who imposed the tariffs?
US.
Who imposed the tariffs on China?
That was our current so-called leader of the free nations.
You can't make it up. Go back to the video. He imposed it. He put it on him, and now he had to go over there. If that ain't a sign of what? Play on. Play on.
方面的东西进出口，所以这个关税对我们影响非常大。就是有一些中
Anything
美
related to
中美关
U.S.-China relations or U.S.-China policies,
系啊，或者是中美方面的一些，就是
we pay very close attention to all of that.
这个什么我们特别关注啊。
Some, however, aren't excited about his visit, expressing skepticism.
我觉得他来
I think his visit to China
中国访华肯定是
is definitely about reaching some kind of
Consensus.
consensus.
想达成共识，对。同时他那个
And honestly, the U.S. economy has been going downhill.
How is it everybody knows that except U.S. citizens here in great old America?
Damn.
Everybody knows that. Is it because they're on the outside looking? Y'all can chime in. Is it because they're on the outside looking in? They know that the economy is on a downfall here in America? Or is it because they know that all the jobs were sent over to China? They know how to make, manufacture, import, export. They know how to do all of that. Because why? Alciasa, you remember when they shipped all the jobs? Chime in. When they shipped all the jobs over to China.
When I was young coming up, that's when it was really occurring. You know, when I was around 18, 20 years old, they were sending jobs. First, they were sending them to Mexico and so forth. Then they were sending them to China for cheap labor, right? Because they didn't want to pay, especially the minorities at that time, fair wages. So they went over there, got products, brought them back over here. And the Chinese now, they say, well, thank you very much. So now we over there actually happen to beg them for to build companies over here. come build businesses over here. You kidding me? So yeah, they gave it all away.
Play on. Yeah, keep reading.
And honestly, the U.S. economy has been going downhill. It's been declining.
逐步下跌的，他
So I think he's coming here because he wants things to move in a better direction.
有意识的来，肯定是想往一个好的趋势发展，不可靠。
He's not trustworthy.
How does everybody know this? Listen to what the citizens, the residents of China, the Chinese resident, Ying Yaping Chang, that sound like dropping forks. Listen to what he's saying.
Hey, officer, you know, remember last Sabbath, Bishop played a video, and Trump threw a shot at Iran, and he said, you know, the country's doing really good. We're doing better than Iran. Right. So everybody is under the bubble of America and thinking that the country is running great when they're on the outside looking in and they can see it for what it is. If you putting tariffs on China and everything is made in China, the tariffs is hurting us.
Right.
And that's why the economy going down. They can see that.
And they also saw his recent actions. You went in and kidnapped the president of another nation. You were saying that people in boats, looked like fishing boats, were drug dealers, and you were blowing them up. But all of a sudden, after you kidnapped him, there's no more hearing of the drug dealers or the boats. When you were negotiating with Iran, you went in and backdoored them and killed their leaders. I would kind of be, I would be careful dealing with him as well. You know, you can't trust somebody who do these type of things.
Get Sirach chapter 12, verse 10. Right. They seem to understand this, but yet our people, oh no, they get a stimulus package, or he give them some kind of tax break, and our people, they just get simple. Why? A gift will destroy us. But the other, they understand this. These Chinese citizens understand this very clearly. Read that.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12 and verse 10. Never trust thine enemy.
The Yingling, whatever the hell his name was, he just said it. He said, he's not trustworthy. They pay attention to what when Satan shows me he's the devil, they believe it. It's like he's showing me that they not trustworthy.
Yeah, that's what he said the first time. When he show you the first time, believe it. That's who he is. All the cover up. Now he want to go over there because they hurting. Plus, they didn't do what they were supposed to do in Iran, what they thought they could do. So now they want to try to shift directions and go over there and try to actually get China to help them to convince Iran to open up the Straits of Hormuz. You can't make this stuff up.
Because a couple shows ago we covered, I don't know if you all remember, who was sending the fuel to fuel the rockets for Iran? China was sending that to them. China has no problem exporting or importing.
Yep.
They say, look, you want to tariff us? Hey, guess what? They got supply and they dang sure got demand over there. We'll just go over here and give them the stuff that we know how to create and how to manufacture. We can even it might say made in China in the Iranian tongue. They don't care as long as they getting bread or they getting something out of the deal. But now the U.S. is looking at it like, oh, hold up. We kind of put the cart before the horse. But now the Chinese citizens, finish that scripture, read that scripture. Chinese citizens, they understand this. If the residents understand this, you better believe the politicians, their senators, their congressmen, the people, their dignitaries, they understand this too. Read that.
Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness.
They understand like that. The Chinese woman that said, hey, I pay attention to the import and export because that's how they make their money. If you putting tariffs on that, you're restricting us from doing those things. A lot of people understand the U.S., they have a very vast military. As a matter of fact, get that map of the military bases, of all the bases. I know I'm throwing y'all a curveball, but get that map. They understand this. That great horde that sit on many waters, the other nations, they understand. There it is. They understand this right here. They understand this. What comes with those tariffs, anytime a country gets out of line, what does the U.S. do? I would just throw sanctions. They have sanctions through the power of their militaries. That's how they can sanction these other countries and just pretty much do whatever they want. They said the same thing with Spain. Then they like, well, he said we can't use their airport. I'm very upset with him. Well, if we want to, we'll just do it anyway. That's what he said, right?
Yes, that's what he said. But you're looking at all of those different red spots on
Put
that
them back
map.
up.
The problem is they spread the butter on the biscuit too thin. You ain't going to get no flavor now. Right? You ain't gonna spread it too thin. And that's what they have a problem because now they happen to draw down troops in Europe and Germany and them since they wouldn't capitulate to what Trump wanted them to do. Now they're trying to weaken Europe itself. So he making one false step after another, which is good in our favor.
Yeah, because if you look at right where Oman is located, right down in that region, you got Israel right there, Thailand, you got that area right in there, right? How are you going to, you got your army over there, and then you say, you know what, we ain't gonna allow nothing to come in and out of there. We're gonna start a fight over here. You literally are creating. You're pretty much cutting off your own troop. You're cutting the supply from your own troops. Did they think that through?
No, he didn't, because when he did that, it backfired on him, and now he's trying to go around Iran because they're not falling for the okie doke no more. So just like you just read, never trust our enemy, Iran saw the true colors, they're not falling for it. So now Trump is trying to go around them to China and trying to get the Persian Gulf. He trying to get China, trying to leverage China over Iran and get them to make moves, and so they can get ships through. But they're not going for it. He failing at it. So also what Iran is capitalizing off of is, okay, your military is in these places, we're going to bomb them bases over there. They're not bombing their own people per se. They bombing the military bases.
Exactly. They ain't doing like, well, we don't get to that yet. But go back to we got to get through this.
He's not trustworthy.
好像是80岁了吧？
He's like
年龄也挺大
what?
的。
Oh, go back. He missed it.
He's like what? 80 years old now? He's quite old.
吧，年龄也挺大的，
He sure loves to stir things up.
反正挺能闹腾的，挺能折腾是吧？这么多就跟
He's always getting into conflicts with
其他国家有什么冲突啊
other countries and stuff. Honestly, I have a really bad impression of him.
之类的，反正我对他印象特别不好。对。
You gotta wonder why that is.
Over a dozen U.S. CEOs would join Trump in China, including Elon Musk, Apple's Tim Cook, and NVIDIA's Jensen Huang.
All right, so get Psalms chapter 55, verse 20. He said he's always stirring stuff up. He tried to put the muscle on China. He tried to put the muscle on it. Yeah, I'm going to tariff him. Bam! He hit him with, I think, didn't he hit him with like the highest tariff ever? Yeah, the tariff is the highest tariff ever we're going to put on him. It's going to be great. It's going to be great, you know. Now you gotta, you know how weak you look now that you have to digress. You gotta, okay, I gotta backtrack. I gotta go see about what I did. Read that.
The book of Psalms, chapter 55 and verse 20.
Come on.
He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him.
Come on.
He hath broken his covenant.
They understand that. That's why the natives of China understand that, hey, this guy cannot be trusted. But now that he's coming peace, love, and hair grease. That's how he's coming now, right? Read on, watch this. That's what he's coming with now. Read, watch this.
The words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
Yeah, we're going to establish peace with you, China. Just, Iran, they're done. They're done. It's going to be great. It's going to be peaceful. We all come together, sit around the campfire, roast marshmallows. It's going to be a great time for me and you. Read.
But war was in his heart.
The first chance that he get, that's why them citizens are untrustworthy. They understand who Esau is. They know. They get it. They understand war is in his heart. Go ahead, officer.
Can we get another scripture?
Yes, sir, of course.
Habakkuk 2:5. This is what they know about this. Really, this is about this society over here and how they've gone about negotiating through the years. Not just Trump, because a lot of people just point at Trump because he's loud and he's colorful with his speech and everything. He makes all kind of assertions, but overall, this is how America has dealt, and people understand them around the world. This is what they look at. Go ahead.
The book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 5. Yea, also, because he hath transgressed by wine. He is a proud man.
Did you know they be walking around talking about Star Spangled Banner and all that, and there ain't no country better than us on the face of the earth and all of that? Go ahead.
Neither keepeth at home.
Now, they don't keep it at home. As we saw with all of the red flags around the globe, we seen how he's set up around the world. We don't just have an army here to protect ourselves, defense. In fact, they changed it from how they say now the army is. It's not the it's not the defensive army. They call it the army of war. However they renamed it. Go ahead.
Who enlargeth his desire as hell.
I want Venezuela. I want what's that up north of us?
Canada.
Not Canada, the other one.
Greenland.
All of that. He wanted all. Keep going.
And is as death.
Yep. Everywhere they go, there's death. Wherever the eagles are gathered, there shall the carcasses be.
That's him.
Go ahead.
And cannot be satisfied.
Nope. Want it all.
But gathereth unto him all nations.
Yeah, he's in all nations, that's for sure.
And heapeth unto him all people.
Yeah, he go to all their lands, say these are my lands. I'm the president of Venezuela. And but this isn't just started. This been going on. They've surrounded Cuba. They're saying now that Cuba don't have no lights or nothing. They just starve the people out. Come on, man. The kids and everything.
My thing is this. You are the president. Now, maybe we get later into the show. Maybe he took people who were very influential politicians, maybe who were educated in diplomatic affairs and things like that. Did we see he had was it Elon Musk that he took with him?
Yes, sir.
Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency. I'm young, but I don't remember that. Yasa, was that something that's been around?
Nah, they made that up.
Okay, that's what I'm.
just
Thank you
made
for.
that up.
That's
So-
what I'm getting at. So, why the hell do you got? What does Elon Musk do again? He does what? He like Amazon or something? No, that's
No, he is he
Tesla.
bought Tesla and he bought Twitter and turned it to X.
So
But his heritage come from his
South
father
Africa.
them in South Africa.
okay.
The diamonds and stuff they were taking over there. So you bring him over there with the lineage and heritage he have, and China looking right at it. They're like, oh, here they come.
Oh, they know you brought the. He said, so you brought the experienced criminals over here. Okay, all right. Let's get the next one. That's what he brought. That's why he didn't bring the people over there, the diplomats. He's like, okay, he got a team of hitters.
Yeah,
expert hitters and thieves. Like, bring them over here. So that's what scripture say. He come to steal and other things.
That's it.
Get the next one. Come on.
President Donald Trump's visit to China will be overshadowed by the war in Iran and continued closure of the Strait of Hormuz. China is Iran's largest trading partner, but has aimed to walk a neutral line during the war.
We're going to have a long talk about it. I think he's been relatively good, to be honest with you. You look at the blockade, no problem.
Some lawmakers have expressed concern that the United States may have expended more than half of its weapons inventory against Iran. Those are
Pause.
considered...
Back that up just a little bit, because that might have went over a lot of our people's head. I might have jumped the gun when I said earlier. China is supplying Iran. They know how to supply. They know how to. They can what's it called? I'm looking for. They can counterfeit, because they'll set up in your hood and make counterfeit fried chicken.
Right.
And like, what the hell Moab know about fried chicken? They'll go in your shop and watch how you do it, and they'll bring that back. So they know how to clone and manufacture and all that stuff. But they know how to supply. They are supplying Iran with the fuel for their missiles. And now just said something. They said the U.S., they done utilized a lot of their supply.
About half. It's a war of attrition. This is what's going on. First, Russia put up the front, which was drawing United States weapons and stuff, which they were back in the Ukraine. And then Iran, which they fell into that trap, and China is what do you want to say? They backing Iran, and they giving them a lot of weapons and stuff and resources, like you mentioned earlier, the fuel for the rockets. So they're not gonna stop that because Trump came over there. They part of BRICS.
Exactly,
That's it.
And add
That's
to
it.
that point, who is the U.S. supplying? Who are they supplying with munitions? With weapons of war? Who are they giving their stuff to?
Israel.
There you go. It's literally, and the Chinese, they can see it like, hey, it's backfiring on. They say, we walking a neutral line. We giving them stuff so they can maintain their fuel and they can fight. They fighting a war. The U.S. don't see it, but they've already been drawn into a war that they can't win. They've already been drawn into it. It ain't clicked yet. Well, play on. Listen to what he say. Come on, let's go.
Blockade, no problem.
Some lawmakers have expressed concern that the United States may have expended more than half of its weapons inventory against Iran. Those are considered key to defending against China's missile capabilities in the event of an attack. Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping are also expected to speak about the U.S. relationship with Taiwan. The Chinese government broadly wants the U.S. to back away from support for Taiwan in the event of a military conflict. Taiwan views itself as independent from China, and the United States has promised to send weapons. The leaders are also expected to announce aircraft and agricultural purchasing agreements and potentially joint boards of trade and investments.
China trying to see what they can get out the deal. They don't trust America. They've already proven that Trump is a liar. You know what Trump's fault is? He forgot to be a politician. He want to bully everything. See, the former Edomite presidents, the U.S. presidents, they did the political thing. They played ball. Trump just like, no, you're going to do what I want you to do. So China already know he's not going to keep his end of the deal on nothing. But they're trying to see what they can get.
Trump came out swinging the big hammer.
And one thing that they know, they cannot stand to play on a level playing field. Just like with DEI, they didn't want no level playing field. The same thing with China. China produces electric cars that absolutely outperforms Elon Musk's cars, and they don't want them to sell them here. So they can't play on a level playing field because they'll kill them in production, and that's why they're going over there and going the route they're going, because they're in trouble. They can't keep up with the production of the rest of the world.
Obviously, I brought a heavy point. IT, look up who is the largest producer of lithium. Who produces the largest amounts of lithium?
Bring it out.
Because you notice, I've been seeing a lot of those little weird Amazon vans. If you're paying attention, them little Amazon vans running around here. So that could be why. I'm surprised. What's the other one that runs Amazon? He ain't
Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, he might be on the next flight over there. I'm surprised he ain't over there, because he's got some skin in the game too. Read that.
Australia is the world's largest lithium producing country as of 2026, accounting for nearly half of global output, approximately 46.3% share.
Come on, watch this.
Australia primarily mines lithium from hard rock, spodumene. Chile is the second largest producer, dominating brine-based extraction, while China is the top processor.
So what does that mean? What does that mean, Officer Yasser?
So that means the other countries digging it up, but they can't process it. China can put it into play.
There you go.
And they're in control.
There you go right there. Why? Let's ship everything out. Let China figure out how to deal with it. Kind of backfired. Let's change gears. Let's get to one about Venezuela. See why the Chinese residents are nervous, so to speak.
If Venezuela became the 51st state of the United States, because yes, Trump just said he's seriously considering it.
For the Oval Office event, he kind of surprised me a little bit, because he said, John, I just want to tell you so you can talk about this. I'm serious about beginning a process to make Venezuela the 51st state.
Now, let's be clear. This is not an actual legal proposal. Becoming the 51st state is not something that happens because of one comment to a reporter. It would be politically explosive and extraordinarily unlikely. It is not the first time he has said it, though. So the real question isn't, is this actually happening?
Hey, real quick. And people I don't know if they're paying attention to what Trump is saying and doing. Remember, it was the Gulf of Mexico, right? Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
What is it now?
The Gulf of America.
When he say he gonna do some, they like what was the name of Sleepy Joe? Sleepy Joe's like, yeah, the Nord Stream pipe. He's like, yeah, you know, if they don't do this, then that pipeline, you know, I'm just gonna blow it up. And then what happened?
He went to sleep.
He blew up the pipeline and went to sleep. So when they say that, that's what people don't understand. Like, what? Get Micah 2. Micah 2. Let's get that.
Yeah, officer. Venezuela better be careful, because Puerto Rico is one of the United States territories, and look how they treat them down in Puerto Rico. They'll do the same thing to the people in Venezuela. Go ahead.
Yeah, read Micah 2, start at verse 1. People don't understand how this beast gets down. Read that.
The book of Micah, chapter 2 and verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds.
Come on.
When the morning is light, they practice it.
Who devises evil? What? And that people don't understand. Like, they just every day this guy wakes up, he's doing something different, and it's not of the Lord. They devise evil. You literally went in this man's country and said he was moving bricks, all white bricks. We hadn't seen one brick yet. It hadn't been any mention of a trial, any kind of charges he being brought up on. He brought him over here and he just simply disappeared. Read on.
When the morning is light, they practice it.
He said, yeah, they're doing some evil. In Venezuela, they're doing some bad things. That's what he do. That's what he said. Yeah, you know, they got all this bad stuff going on, and, you know, we got to go over there and we got to take care of it. We got to fix it. Read.
because it is in the power of their hand.
Come on.
And they covet fields.
They do what?
And they covet fields.
Now they're talking about Venezuela being the 51st state.
Take that field. I'm getting that.
He
field.
said, that's mine. He said, look, I took the president. Now, it's only right. Like when the tanker, like they were like gangster. When he's like, yeah, this tanker.
This be so silly, because then he say, I'm going to build one of my hotels over there. Like he playing Monopoly.
Right. That's what it is.
Move one of my hotels over there.
Remember him and BB? They bombed the hell out of Ishmael. Bomb guys all up and down the coast and say, yeah, we're gonna set up some nice resorts.
Build some hotels over there.
Put a couple hotels, it's gonna be great.
Put some houses, then I'm gonna upgrade them to hotels. That's Monopoly, bro.
That's it.
That's how he looking at it, because he said, okay, if the oil is on the other side of the world, most of the oil is on the other side of the world with Ishmael, with the Arabs, right? So you know what? Venezuela got oil. They right there in the backyard. Let me just take them, and now we got production of oil.
Yeah, read verse 2 again.
And they covet fields.
Come on.
And take them by violence, and houses, and take them away.
Read on, come on.
So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage.
If they work out, they go through what he's saying that he's going to do to make them the 51st state. How do you think they're going to treat the people over there? How are the people going to be, how are they going to be taken care of over there? You think he's going to welcome an open home? Say, yeah, come on, this land is your land. You already snatched the president up. And I guarantee you it's something in that land that they want, because they ain't going over there for nothing.
Hey, if it's anything like America, boy, it ain't looking too good.
And look at verse 3, where you were just reading in Micah.
Yeah, come on.
The book of Micah, chapter 2 and verse 3. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, behold, against this family.
Against what?
Against this family.
That's why I mentioned earlier, it's not just Trump. It's the whole tribe. It's all of them that's involved in that spirit that they got, that they could take what they want. They don't care about other people, especially people of color, because we noticed that all the nations that they attack are people of color.
All right, come on. Let's get the video. Let's go back to it. Our people got to pay attention to this. They worried about freaking LeBron James not making it in the playoffs. Somebody, look, a Negro sitting.
Yeah,
man,
LeBron. Is he gonna retire this
I don't
year?
give about him retiring. The world is retiring right now. Everything going down. Everybody, what a time to be alive.
I wish I could retire. Give me $1 billion and see what I'll do.
You know what I'm saying? All this going on, and they talking about a dude dribbling a basketball. Our people, man, we need mercy. Play the video. We need a lot of mercy.
Explosive and extraordinarily unlikely. It is not the first time he has said it, though. So the real question isn't, is this actually happening? The questions are, why say it this way and why repeat it now? Because in politics, comments like these are often about power, about dominating the news cycle, and about forcing the other side to react. And react they did. Y así reaccionaron. This is how Maduro's right-hand woman, Venezuela's current interim president, Delcy Rodriguez, responded.
Si eso no está previsto, jamás estaría previsto, porque es que amamos nuestro proceso de independencia.
So now I want to ask you, what do you think about Trump's comment? What do you think is the intention behind it? And would you support the idea of Venezuela becoming the 51st state?
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you exactly why. Trump is smart. Remember the world he come from. Trump knows how to dominate the headlines. Trump knows how to keep the media attention and the focus on things that probably never will happen or not really that important, and keep everybody's mind off of Israel bombing Iran, Israel bombing Gaza, them saying it's a ceasefire but still sending bombs. That's Trump say stuff like that as a shock factor to distract the media and the masses.
Hey,
distraction.
Hey, say something clever, officer. It was something I posted. I'm gonna find it. To your point, let me get it to your point, outside Kim, I'm going to post. Let me get it. I just posted it. The last thing. Pull that up for me right now. We're gonna come back to this. Pull that up right there. That video. It's a real short video. To Officer Akim's point. Excuse me. Listen to what he'll just say crazy stuff. Shock. What'd you call it? Shock what?
Shock factor.
Shock factor. Like, listen to this. You are the America's president. You are the president of the free world. Ain't that what they call him?
Yep.
American president. Listen to this right here. Listen to what he said about America. Play.
Think about American financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing.
He said, hold on. You the chief. He said, I don't think about America's financial situation. Bruh. Is that why gas is almost $15 a gallon? I'm exaggerating. I don't care about their financial situation. You know how you should see homeless people? I don't really see homeless people ain't even homeless no more. It's that bad. I guess they ain't got the strength to go out with the sign to be homeless. Because he don't care about the financial situation. They're like, look, you know what? He just said that, so them begging for change, they know they ain't finna happen.
Times is hard on the boulevard.
Officer Akim was exactly correct. They say things in the news to get your mind off the other thing. One hand doing one thing. For instance, they're not doing real good over in China. You know that they didn't roll out the red carpet for Trump when he came. But Vance announced that Medicaid was going to be suspended in California. And everybody turned their attention over there. So you're not watching the performance that's going on in China. And so that's how they dominate the news cycle. They're able to get people to look the other way. It's an art. They do it all day long. He'll do anything. He'll send the troops into Minnesota to get your mind off of what he's doing. You remember, his followers think like this. We're doing better now. It used to cost me $15 to fill up my car. Now it costs me $45. I got more.
Somebody pay attention to in math class.
It's red herrings. That's what it is.
Red herrings. Yeah.
Red herring. That's when he gonna say something. It's a red herring is a piece of information, a phrase, or argument used to mislead, distract, or divert attention away from the original issue, question, or primary topic.
Hey, look over here.
Yep.
While everything else is going on over there.
That's it.
Yep.
All right, let's get the next video.
The cost of war and just get right to the deal. Okay, that's just not what's going on here. What's going on is they really are at loggerheads where one side's gain is completely the other side's loss. And if Iran were to make these concessions, Iran is only making itself more vulnerable in the future. So who's really going to protect Iran? Let's say Iran gives up the Strait of Hormuz, and then Israel and the United States decide 6 months from now to bomb Iran again.
Hey, hold on, real quick. Pull up the map of the Strait of Hormuz. Pull up the map of the Strait, because he just said something. It's about battle space. If they give up that, yeah, let me see. All right, so zoom in. He said, look, if they give that up, notice where Iran is set up at. Look at Oman. We had the map of the military bases. The U.S. has bases right there in Oman. They have a base in Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Iraq. They have bases in that area.
And Bahrain and Qatar.
Right. They have military bases, installations established all throughout that little coast right there. So if what he just said, what that Edomite just said, is they give that area up right there, that Strait of Hormuz, that's going to be a problem, especially if they get attacked again.
That's almost a guarantee with the tactics that they've already displayed. When you got your back turned, when you're most vulnerable, when you're trying to make a deal, we're going to hit you. They've already taught them that. So why is this commentator bringing it out? Why would I give up this? This is the only thing keeping you up off of me.
I go back to the article.
Down Israel's fighters over UAE airspace or over the Gulf to protect Iran? I don't think so. Is Saudi Arabia going to use its air force to shoot down American KC-135s so they can't tank up the attacking force? I don't think so. So Iran doesn't think so either. So this is what it means. You'd really have to. This is why it's not a real estate deal, because there's no third-party umpire to truly enforce any deal whatsoever. The only thing that enforces the deal is military force. And once I use those examples, Mario, you see right away that this is not. This is about military force.
All right, real quick. Look up Iran's military strength. Just general numbers, because he said it. Because it's like, okay, when they say, hey, what's that court when someone when you start bombing innocent civilians, they say, hey, this goes against the Geneva Convention, and they said you are committing genocide. They said it with the Israelis, like, hey, you guys are committing genocide. Who was holding them accountable?
Was that the World Court?
Yeah, the world. Yeah, what the World Court do? The World Court. They got up out of there. They're like, okay, hey, whatever. It's the same thing. Who's gonna hold them accountable? The Most High God gonna hold them accountable. That's who's gonna hold them accountable. Look up Iran military strength.
Iran's military strength. Iran remains a top 20 global military power.
It said a top 20 global military power. So they got a little bit of force. They have some force. Read.
Despite extensive degradation from recent conflicts, its strength centers on massive troop reserves, a formidable arsenal of ballistic missiles and drones, and strategic geography that allows for
asymmetric warfare.
Asymmetric warfare.
I just look up asymmetric warfare real quick. Just look that up real quick. I ain't gonna get too deep into the weeds, but I want you to understand what asymmetric warfare is. A lot of people may not understand what it is, but Iran understands it. They understand it because of their resources, their technology, and things of that sort. Read that.
Asymmetric warfare is a conflict between belligerents with vastly unequal military power, resources, or technology.
Come on.
Where the weaker side utilizes unconventional strategies, such as guerrilla tactics.
That's what I wanted to get right there, guerrilla tactics. Because of their terrain, they understand the terrain. That's why a lot of other formidable military opponents, they won't be so inclined to go over there and attack in their terrain, because they understand how to navigate it. And you can't just roll in there with a bunch of tanks and like, yeah, we're going to roll into Iran with a bunch of tanks. The terrain is terrible. You'd be throwing tracks. You would take a lot of losses trying to roll up in there like that. They understand that.
Officer Micah, that's your go back to what Officer Micah had before this. Go back. It's a key part in there, what you're saying, Officer Micah. Go to that. Show that again. The part that says a formidable arsenal of ballistic missiles and drones and strategic geography.
Yep, that's it.
They're utilizing these things to their advantage. And everybody's concerned, Iran, they don't need nuclear weapons. Don't let them get nuclear weapons. They're not out to get nuclear weapons. No. They don't need nuclear weapons. They have what they need right there, and that's what they're utilizing. And as we can see, would it be if Iran wasn't a threat, would Trump be trying to meet with China and negotiate? Remember, this is America. They bomb and get their way. Why are they not doing that with Iran? It's because of this.
Because Iran is not the fuel that China's bringing Iran for the missiles. They not putting it in the reserves to say, yeah, we're just gonna hold on to this. I highly doubt they got missiles that are even expiring. Because they are firing the minute they get them filled up. They're like, all right, I commit, get it on the shuttle, get it on the truck. Let's get it up out of here.
And the one thing America's not used to is seeing Americans die. And in order for you to take out Iran, you got to come in on the ground. And historically speaking, the Persians have never been beat in their land. They've lost world rulership, but in their land, you're not going in that terrain, and you're going to lose a lot of soldiers trying to come through there. And that's what they really counting on. Unless you shoot them with some nuclear bombs, you're not going to get them out. They like roaches. They dug in.
Right. All right, go back to the video.
Used or hypothetically used.
What's a Persian name? I don't want
That's
to keep
my
calling them
world.
Persians
That's
off
the
the I don't want to keep calling them that. What's a Persian's name? Got some Persian names.
Oh,
I said Persian names.
Oh, their names?
I can't think of no.
Okay,
right
I don't want to keep. I want them to get confused.
Xerxes.
Yeah, we'll call them that. Yeah. Call them Zerk. Zerk. Yeah, Zerk ain't playing. We'll call them Zerk. Go ahead, play them.
And those realities are driving the diplomacy. This is the military realities driving the lack of diplomacy.
So I actually agree with you, and we were talking about Joe Kent earlier as well, and he's in the same camp. Is that we both believe the best thing, the least worst option that Trump has is simply walking away, and him walking away will make Iran the hegemon in the region and potentially a global power as well, because they've proven they can control the Strait of Hormuz. They are supported by China and Russia. And regionally, they're in a very powerful position. And they've also deterred future American aggression because they've shown how costly it could be and they can sustain it. So I'm definitely in that camp. The only one that I've always thought was unlikely, but I'll tell you why I think now is looking more and more likely, is going back into war. But my position changed 2 days ago is when I saw Iran's demands, and maybe you can correct me here. But when I saw Iran saying in their demands, number one, they want to charge a fee according to Tasnim News. They want to charge a fee to
pause real quick. Look up the definition of hegemon, Hegemon. He said it's going to make Iran a hegemon, right? What does that mean? Because he said something and it just went right through. What does that mean? Hegemon. And then rewind it like 20 seconds. You could play the video while you're getting it so we can hear what he said again. You got it? Read that.
A hegemon is a supreme leader, state, or dominant power that exercises hegemony, a predominating influence or control over others.
So that's what he's saying. He's saying what Iran, now running back. Now that we know what the word mean, run it back like 20 seconds and play it again.
So I'm definitely in that camp. The only one that I've always thought was unlikely, but I'll tell you why I think now is looking more and more likely, is going back into war. But my position changed 2 days ago is when I saw Iran's demands, and maybe you can correct me here. But when I saw Iran saying in their demands, number one, they want to charge a fee according to Tasnim News. They want to charge a fee to the cable companies using the Strait of Hormuz. I'm like, guys, like a temporary toll booth for ships, I understand. It's a big ask, but I understand for reparations. But if you're going to make that permanent, and now also talking about, because they want to make it permanent, also talking about charging a fee for cables that go underwater, which no one does at all around the world. I'm like, guys, you're demanding too much. You're forcing Trump back into the war in a way. And then also, 2 days ago, according to Iranian sources, the Iranians want sanctions lifted and assets unfrozen before even discussing the nuclear program. Now, Wall Street Journal reports otherwise, so it's up to you who you want to believe. But if these are the Iranian demands, am I wrong to assume that Trump is trying to walk away, but they're so demanding, more than they were a few weeks ago, that they're almost leaving no choice for Trump but to seek military action? And the reports since yesterday are indicating that Trump is considering it more seriously than ever.
I think you're basically right, Mario. What I would add a couple of my 2 cents to this, but I think your analysis is exactly right. People could just re-listen to it, and I agree with it all the way down the line. And it's what I was expecting was going to happen. I mean, just to be clear, this is what I was saying was coming. This is not, they're not backing down, they're edging for more here. And I just say a couple of things. So one of the things that you're also seeing is Iran is deliberately going out of its way to humiliate President Trump and humiliate the United States. So this is, a few weeks ago, people
pause it real quick. Look up the Panama deception. Do you think that Iran don't remember this? Do you really think that they don't remember this on what went down over there? They said, "Oh, now all of a sudden, oh, they're humiliating Trump." What is America doing over there? Our people that are not conscious, they'll lot of it right back to sleep.
Right over their head.
Right over their head. Because he said something like, well, because now it'll come down to, well, can they protect the bases down in here? If you can't protect it, then we'll oblige. We'll come in and protect it. And what happened with that? Look, put up the Panama Deception real quick. What happened with that? What happened here?
Panama Deception. The film recounts the events which led to the invasion, the death and destruction caused by the invasion, and the aftermath. The film is critical of...
I just want to get down to the part where they said, if you can't defend, come on, where's it at? Damn, not no drugs. Where is that? Come on. We'll get to the canal. Come on.
Oh, go back up a little bit.
Did we miss it?
Yeah, I just want to say that they said that this is similar to what they said about
You might.
It's similar to what they said about Maduro. They said there was racketeering and drug trafficking.
It's
charges.
always drug trafficking.
You can go back the other way.
Yeah, it's
now.
right there. Go to the part. I just want the part about the canal. Here, come on. That's it. Yep. Come on.
The film also argued that the true purpose of the invasion was to prevent the then scheduled retrocession of the Panama Canal Zone to Panama as agreed in the Torrijos-Carter treaties.
That's what it was about.
Yep.
They took the canal and they said, look, if you can't protect it, we gonna take it.
Yeah, and that was a treaty that they had. So that's a broken promise because they had agreed that they would turn over the canal to the Panamanians. However, they had to have a standing army. Well, we can fix that.
Right.
And they went in and that's what the film brought out, that they went in and destroyed the army.
They made sure the army was not standing
At all.
You can't make it up. All right, let's go back. Let's see if we can get through the time stamp, and then we gotta go to break, right? Okay, after this we'll go to break. All right. Hit it.
Iran's going to offer some sort of fig leaf that President Trump can declare victory and get out. This is the complete opposite of that. They are humiliating President Trump at every possible stage. You know how people are bringing gifts to the Oval Office and kind of saying, let's nominate President Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize. This is the complete opposite of that approach. Here. Now, well, number one, why might they be doing that? It's because in international politics, reputation for power is a big part of power. And this has been true for hundreds of years. This is not unique to any modern system. So Iran is not just interested in materially weakening the United States, which I believe is a number one goal of Iran now, to materially weaken the United States as we go forward. But they want to do even more than that. They want to weaken President Trump's reputation for power, because if you do those two things together, you're going to get more gains. Your reputation for power will go up as I'm not just surviving, I'm flourishing materially. Now I'm even embarrassing the number one power in the world.
You can't make it up. So they think they doing all this for power. All right, we're gonna dig back into it. We about to go to commercial break. Hey, stay tuned. We got the second half of the show coming up after break.
Hey, Shalom Israel. No sign Christ bless. Why do you subscribe? IUIC New Orleans, subscribe. Go to our YouTube page. Help us to grow. Comment, like, share. What's going on? Make it happen.
Everybody better turn up. See the man, them could have put my cellular. Turn
bright you can handle. So bright you like that this candle. Like garment fresh and me try.
From the red clay soil, our roots run deep. A promise our ancestors died to keep. Through the fire and the flood, we held our ground. Now the voice of our calling rings out loud. Rise up, Liberia, the time is now. We've carried the burden, we've kept the vow. Blood of the 12 tribes flows through our veins. No more silent suffering, no more change. Rise up, let the whole world know. From the seed of our fathers, watch us grow. Two wars tore through us, 14 years lost, a generation silenced, we know the cost. The schools went quiet, the children cried, but the spirit of our people never died. Now the gospel is rising on Liberian ground. What the enemy buried, the truth has found. From Monrovia streets to the county line, the word is spreading like the morning shines. The 12 tribes scattered, now finding their way back to the light of an ancient day. No more darkness, no more delay. Liberia, your moment is today. We were silenced by the guns and the years of pain, but you can't stop a people from rising again. The classrooms may have closed, but the truth stayed alive. Now we carry the gospel so our children can thrive. Rise up, Liberia, the time is now. We've carried the burden, we kept the vow. Blood of the 12 tribes flows through our veins. No more silent suffering, no more change. Rise up, let the whole land feel the power of the people that history couldn't kill. The truth is here now. Let Liberia be healed.
Allowing our resources and everything to be stripped from us and thinking that we're giving it away to Jesus when you don't even recognize that you yourself are descendants of Jesus.
We pray for the Lord to increase our faith. When your faith gets increased, you believe in what you're saying and what you do. So that's the motivation for you, that pushes you.
Israel United in Christ. Is it a movement, a foundation? Why Israel United in Christ? What are their works?
Israel United in Christ is not just a church, a congregation, a school. We are a nation, the nation that is written about in the Holy Bible.
Jesus.
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 I used to tell myself I'm an African, but then after getting to know the truth, I realized, no, I've been lied to. I'm way beyond that.
You telling me that this is your Lord and Savior? That white man? No! We have been lied to. Jesus Cristo! Jesus Cristo! But in these last days, he has set the spirit on the prophets to come back and teach the people the truth of the Bible.
This is an idol.
Throw it away into the ditch.
Get it. Get it. Throw it away. Throw it away. Throw it.
That is Christ. What that is Christ?
We want our sisters, we want our families, we want our people, we want our nation to change. We are more than just a church or a congregation. This is a nation.
Israel United.
Hey, shalom, shalom, Israel, Most High, Christ Black. Welcome back to the second half of the show. Hey, all praise to the Most High. Hey, also before, make sure y'all donate. Donate to the Booster Club. All right, you can text 646-982-3858, or you can scan the QR code right there. So we're gonna go ahead and get back into it. All praise to the Most High. Let's get the next clip. Let's run it.
Win in November 2024. Second prediction is that he would start a war against Iran. And the third prediction is that the United States would lose this war, and in losing this war, this would radically reshape the geopolitical landscape.
How did you know that Trump would start a war with Iran?
The simple answer is this. The United States have invaded Iran because it has no choice in the matter. If it were not to invade Iran, it would lose its empire. Its empire is based purely on the US dollar, the petrodollar, which is a Ponzi scheme. If it did not invade Iran, then people
read
would...
Read the bottom of that. Read the bottom of that right there. A Ponzi scheme. Because our people just heard what he said, but they not digesting the words. Read the bottom right there where it says DOAC community notes at the bottom. Read that for us, Officer Solomon.
A Ponzi scheme is a fraudulent investment scam that pays returns to earlier investors using money contributed by new investors rather than from actual profit earned by the organization.
So what's going on right now?
So what's happening is they never really making money. They just getting new investors to invest, and they skimming the money off of it. And so, yeah. So
That's not like Amway.
Because remember, the dollar it used to be backed by something, gold. However much gold you had in the reserve, that's how much currency you had in the world. But now what they do, they switched over to the petrodollar.
And so for America, they can get in all the debt they want. They just print more dollars.
That's it.
It's a Ponzi scheme. The dollars are worth nothing. It's not backed by oil, which they call it the petrodollar, but it's not backed by oil. It's not backed by gold, silver, anything. It's really worthless.
Because remember, it used to be what they call a promissory note. It's like we promise to pay you based upon this note that we're giving you. Now it's just they just print them out like Thomas the Osprey, run it off like it ain't nothing. Oh, we loan money, quick, hit the press and
but
print it
the
out.
countries in debt cannot do that.
No,
and that's how they keep them in debt.
And then they keep the lie going that they're in debt. Oh, they have $1 trillion debt and all of that. They ain't paying nobody, and they're the ones that's printing their own money. So how can they really be in debt? It's a scam.
And then didn't Trump just say I don't care. I'm not worried about America's financial situation. Right. You know why? Because I just go and they just print some more money out. I don't care.
And I'm building a hotel in Gaza.
Right. Play on.
Not to trade with it anymore. People would choose to not buy U.S. treasuries.
Why?
For the longest time, this system worked fine. But then in February 2022, Russia invaded Ukraine.
Yeah.
Okay. That was not the issue. The issue was the American response. The American response was to sanction Russia and remove Russia from the SWIFT global payment system. It also ordered the Europeans to freeze over $200 billion.
Read that at the bottom real quick, because I don't know who this guy is. Well, this guy, he's no slouch. He knows what he's talking about.
The European Union has moved to indefinitely freeze approximately $247 billion in Russian central bank assets held in Europe. This decision, finalized in December 2025, ensures these funds remain immobilized until Russia ends its aggression and pays full war reparations to Ukraine.
Damn. Play on.
In Russian assets. And there's a problem because the very basis for having the US dollar as the global reserve currency is that it would remain politically neutral. The Americans guaranteed seamless, politically neutral international exchange. So if this trend continues, right, if you don't do anything about Russia, Russia would take over Ukraine. And Russia then would build an alliance with China and Iran. If you look at these three countries on a map, Russia, China, and Iran, this is
Pause that right there. Look at those three countries right there on the map. Listen to what he said. Listen to what he's saying. He said America had no choice but to freeze Russian assets. They had no choice. Because if Russia takes over the battle space of Ukraine and then teams up with who? Who they teaming up with?
China.
That will put because who is America not trading with right now? Or they put tariffs on?
China.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah, but it didn't phase them. It didn't do what they thought it would do, and because China has their trading partners are more than one half of the world's global wealth, so they really up against it. And I want to note on that map too that Africa is like 5 times bigger than they show it, but you could see China is hooked up. If you move our picture out the way, to the back of Russia, also right there between Kazakhstan, whatever that is. So China goes right in there. So they have a trading routes that they can do. Mongolia, which is really some sort of Chinese themselves, right? All of them are hooked up with Russia. Those are all partners. That whole thing there is a block, and it's much bigger than the block. When you consider Iran and some of the smaller countries that's in there, they're a much bigger block, and they cannot push them. They can't push them out. They got a real big problem.
That's the start of the 10 horns and all of them starting to hate the horde, the world turning on America, because obviously, also like you said, all of these countries they have trading routes, they have relationships, they're close to each other, they have resources. What do they need America for? They don't need America. What resources is any of these countries pulling out of America besides fake money? They realizing that, and they starting to, the Most High is turning the tide. They starting to realize that, and then Babylon is going down.
And guess what? All of Europe is at the footstep of all of those other nations, and they're going to look at it and say, hey, we going to get wiped out. It's better that we turn against America.
There you go. That's it. That's Revelation 17.
To
we
survive.
read all the time. That's it. Because they see that who is America accountable to? Who holds them accountable?
Nobody.
NATO is paying attention. If our people who are under a rock right now, NATO is paying attention. Like, hey, nobody holds them accountable. They can pretty much just like the Israelis, they just move about and do what they want, and nobody holds them accountable. NATO is paying attention. This guy's definitely paying attention. Go back to the video.
Asian continent. And then what they can do is this. They can say, okay, the United States is a bully.
Didn't we just say that?
Yep.
I did not know that was coming. We just literally said that. He said the U.S. is a bully. They just impose their will, democracy on whoever they want. And they just do what they want. Nobody holds them accountable.
Hey, also, but we also can see, how is he dressed? Got the shirt and tie, the jacket,
That's his
the little
Western
handkerchief
dress.
in his lapel. He's dressed just like an Edomite.
Western.
Yeah, where is Chinese gown? People have that Chinese little gown on, ain't he? Don't they
No
wear the little-
Komodo?
Yeah, that's it.
He
that
probably lives in California.
Yeah. All right, let's go back. Come on, play.
Us to play by the rules. They get very angry.
Back it up a little bit.
If we don't play by the
missed
rules.
something.
So
back it up just a little bit to the bully part. Jake running around the hood talking about he gangster.
Right.
Don't even know the definition of these the gangsters right here.
Exactly.
They bullying nations.
you look at these 3 countries on the map, Russia, China, and Iran. This is the entire Asian continent. And then what they can do is this. They can say, okay, the United States is a bully. They force us to play by the rules. They get very angry if we don't play by the rules. So let's not play with the United States anymore. Let's just trade amongst ourselves. And then what they can do is they can build a Eurasian railway system connecting Russia, Iran, and China together. And then what this would do is negate American sea power because it's American ships that patrol and protect the oceans. And then what happened is the world, Europe, Middle East, Africa, India, East Asia, would look at this trading bloc and think to themselves, wow, these guys, the Russians, Iranians, and Chinese, they use gold as their medium of exchange. Gold is valuable. The Americans, on the other hand, use US dollars as the medium of exchange, which is not valuable. So am I better off with the American system, with this new BRICS system?
What's BRICS?
It's an acronym. It stands for Brazil, Russia, India, South Africa, China.
So am I right in thinking, because Iran, Russia, and China were colluding, it threatened US dominance, which is driven by the world using the dollar as the primary currency for trading?
That's correct.
Okay, so they felt they needed to invade because then they can control more of the Middle East?
Right. So
did he just miss that? Jake, come on, man. You ever heard the saying cash is king? He literally just broke it down to him, letting them know he whose currency is the most valuable is running the world. But now what these other countries are realizing, America don't play fair. They are tired. Okay, they tired of getting punched in the face. They say, okay, I go over here, they ain't gonna punch me in the face. America keep hitting me in the face, and then they keep literally punching me in the face. I'm not gonna keep dealing with you and you keep punching me in the face. I'm gonna go over here where they not gonna punch me in the face, and they gonna use precious metals to trade with, versus this paper that you handed me that ain't worth nothing. This brother, maybe he was just, that was a question just for the edifying of everybody
for interview
else.
purposes.
Okay,
Maybe.
Okay, so y'all reel me back, man. I'm like, bro, you gotta know what BRICS is. Hopefully he maybe there was a question on his little index card or something.
He wanted them to just expound on it.
Okay, all right, I'll lean back. Play on.
As the primary currency for trading?
That's correct.
Okay, so they felt they needed to invade because then they can control more of the Middle East?
Right. So by attacking Iran, certain things happen. Okay? The first thing that happened is that China is now cut off from Middle East energy. China receives anywhere between 50 to 6% of its energy needs from the Middle East. Not just Iran, but also Qatar and Saudi Arabia. A lot of people say that China today, it's reliant on renewables, solar, wind, and that's true to a certain extent. But remember that China, it is an industrial powerhouse. So it needs energy from everywhere and everyone. So the fact that China is losing all this energy from the Middle East presents China with a long-term strategic vulnerability. Okay, that's the first thing that happens. Second thing that happens is that Europe is in a lot of trouble. Because remember, because of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Russian energy was sanctioned. And so Europe relied more on the Middle East for its energy needs, especially Qatar. And now Europe has lost all of this oil. And then you have Japan and South Korea, these two powerful East Asian economies, are also reliant on the Middle East for its energy. So now the question is, if you're not getting your energy from the Middle East, where can you get your energy from? And there's only two answers, either Russia or the United States. Russia is at war. And what's happening is the Ukrainian drones are attacking Russian oil refineries and export hubs. So the world in the short term has no choice but to look to America for its energy needs.
So real quick, who's supplying Ukraine with munitions and things to make Russia go boom boom? Who's supplying Ukraine?
That would be America.
America.
Yeah, America is going to
just want to make sure that make sure everybody's up to speed to see what's going on here, because you can get they say one or two gonna be your pusher. It's either gonna be Russia or America. Who's gonna? That's what it said. Make a deal. That's why he brought old boy over there to China. He's like, look, I need you. You used to making deals of multi-million-dollar deals. I need you to make. They got to make a deal. China got to make a deal.
But that tells you that there's a lot of thought that is going into the situation we're into today. It's not just happenstance that Ukraine and Russia got into a fight, because the West was pushing closer and closer to Russia, and they're hoping to drain Russia down. But so far, the alliance between them and China has made it to where the United States can't force them to go back. I don't believe Russia really has the option to go back.
They don't.
And so they're going to fight until the end. And so we get into where closer and closer to Armageddon. Just keep it up.
Look up war of attrition. What is a war of attrition? War of attrition. Look at what's going on. Because a lot of our people, a lot of these little, these kick out, these little battles that are kicking off, a lot of people, they hear about it, oh man. Because then one dude say, he said, if somebody, when they was attacking, Lord's where the brother get his mind right. When they were, the people in Ukraine were being bombed and everything like that, and U.S. came to the rescue by way of the Israelis. But what's a war of attrition? Read that right there.
A war of attrition is a military or strategic conflict where one side attempts to gradually wear down its opponent to the point of collapse.
Watch this.
Victory is achieved not through swift.
The race ain't given to the swift. It ain't boom. That like we just gonna nuke them and be done with it. Read.
Victories is not achieved. Is achieved not through swift, decisive maneuvers, but by continuously inflicting losses in personnel, equipment, and morale until the enemy simply runs out of resources or the will to fight.
You break the will of the enemy to fight. That's a war of attrition. And when you read that, the last part is what they trying to do. They want them to. It's like pretty much who's got the resources to sustain the longest battle. That's when those are wars of attrition right there. That's what they want to do. That's why they kept telling the Ukrainians, Russia kept telling them, don't you can't keep encroaching on our borders. You can't keep doing it. They're like, what? We gonna keep doing it. No, the paperwork says your line stops right here. They say, you know what? They habitual line steppers. Now we gonna step over the line. That's what we gonna do.
Yep.
And then what did Russia do? 5 across the eyes. They wasn't trying to hear that. They said, you know what? We got to do it. Because then Trump say, I'm very upset with Putin. He's doing things I don't agree with. What the hell you mean he doing things? He got to defend his border. That's what he has to. What are you going to do? Wait till they at his back door?
And you done sanction. You done took their money, $280-something billion.
You froze the man accounts, and he say, "Oh, he's making moves." You didn't put that information out.
We had to freeze it.
Yeah,
if we didn't freeze
I'm surprised he could say it's fake news. I didn't take his money.
Yeah,
Yeah, you took his money, and then you allow these dudes to encroach on his border, and like you expect him to do nothing. And they say, "I try to call him. He's not answering the phone." I wouldn't. You got my money, man. I'm not answering the phone. What my money at?
Where's my money, man?
Where's Stewie at? Y'all find that Stewie. Hey, get the Stewie one.
But the great equalizer there is if they crash the dollar, that $281 billion goes by the wayside, so it doesn't really matter. And that's what they're after. They're after to try to crash the dollar.
Yeah, pull up the Stewie one real quick. This is what Putin. This is what they was Stewie and Brian. Brian owes Stewie money. Get that real quick. Hey, and he want this guy to have a conversation with. This is what Putin's mind's at right here. Come on. Right.
Yeah. So it's been 24 hours. Got my money?
Oh, you know what? Just give me till next Friday. I'll have it for you.
Oh, that's funny. I could have sworn I said have it today.
So he said, I want my money. Watch this. Come on.
All right.
Play.
Oh, well, all right then. That's good, OJ. Yeah, that hurt? That hurt?
What the hell?
Yeah, it feels so good, does it?
Right.
No, huh? Yeah, that's what happens.
That's what happens, man.
Yeah, that's what happens.
That's Putin. Like, hey.
You gonna give me my money? Where's
It
my
look
money,
like Putin.
man?
He said, "Where my money at, man? Look, he ain't playing. This is not a hey.
Yeah, you like that? That feel good? That feel good?
Hey, look, hey,
Where's the money, man? Where's my money? You got till 5 o'clock. You hear me? You got till 5 o'clock.
Right. That's what it's like. He want his
I'm
money.
talking about.
He like, where my money at? But
Where's
you
my
want to
money,
talk?
man?
You want to talk? He like, the time for talking is over. Putin like, where my money?
Hey, can we get a world map? This is something Captain Shim have been pointing out. If you look at, like you said, there was encroaching, right? So if you look at Greenland, right? America is after Greenland, right? Okay. They have influence with Canada and everything like that. They took over Venezuela, go to the bottom. They took over Venezuela. Okay, now let's go over closer by Russia. When you look at Norway, Sweden, Finland, these places are American allies, right? So that's why they putting a battery in Ukraine's back and supporting Ukraine, because they want more of that area that way. So then they will control all of that. Everything in the Atlantic Ocean, those seas and all that, they're going to control that. Now, bring it over to by Israel, right? By the Suez Canal and all of that, right?
All right there. Come on.
Right in the middle, to your left,
Come down.
right in that area, right? Go to your, oh man. Okay, so now, if they little big brother Israel gains control of the full country and they dominate Ishmael, the Arabs, right? Okay, now America also has control and influence over that area. Okay, now let's go over to the right, where they after now by the Strait of Hormuz, over that area, right? If they can get that, now they have full control over everything.
There you go.
And what's to stop them? Now who's in their way or what's in their way? Who can do anything against them? That's what they're trying to do. But Russia is not going for it. And Iran, the part that they didn't account for is Iran is going to fight back. They're going to remember their nature, and they're not going for that.
Because remember, Trump had the president of Ukraine in the, didn't he have him at the White House?
Had him in
He
there.
got him. He the
don't
guest
hold the
speaker
cards.
here in the Oval Office. Like, look,
You don't hold the cards.
you don't hold the cards, guy.
You don't have them.
You don't have them. Hey. If it wasn't for me, you guys, you know, you'd have been out of there. So just chill. You know, it's gonna go. He was pretty much Nino Brown in this dude. That what he was letting them know. Like, I'm supplying this.
Hey, Zelensky stood up for a second and was like, hey, you better watch your back. You know, oh, wait a minute. What do you mean?
Yeah,
You know,
right.
You don't hold the cards, guy.
Remember, Vance he said Zelensky ought to be grateful.
Yeah. He did. He told him, you better be
He's
grateful.
signing him.
Zelensky said, you better do something because it'll come over here where you at.
Right.
You better give us what we want.
Trump like,
Exactly. You better watch your back.
Trump like, you talking real greasy. You don't forget, like, Trump looking at him like, you a long way from home. You really think Trump like, look, he's like, I'm that dude. I'm straight gangster. Like, don't get it twisted. I may be old, but guess what? Trump said his pimp hand strong. Let's finish this off. Come on. Man, we're running out of time. Yeah, go to it. Let's go. Let's get it.
The Western Hemisphere. Why? Because the Western Hemisphere belongs to the United States.
When you say the Western Hemisphere, what do you mean? What region is that? Is that Canada as well? And
So if you look at the map, we can divide the map into the Eastern Hemisphere, okay, and the Western Hemisphere.
okay, so everything over here.
Everything,
Mexico.
including Greenland, including Canada, including Mexico. Every part of this area belongs to the United States. Therefore, you cannot trade with any of these countries without American permission, without paying a tribute to the Americans. And this is why that the Americans have parked 1/3 of their naval assets in the Caribbean today. It's to tell the Chinese and the Russians, back off. If you want to come here, you either pay a tribute or you'll be attacked. Okay, that's the first point of this strategy. The Western Hemisphere belongs to America. Something that they call the Don Roll Doctrine, okay, which is
read that.
The Don Roll Doctrine, a nickname for Trump's hardline take on the Monroe Doctrine.
Yes, it.
America treats the Western Hemisphere as its own sphere of influence, blocking rivals like China and Russia, while using economic, political, and military pressure to protect U.S. interests.
Now, get 1 Maccabees chapter 8, verse 26. Because this is Bible. This is what they do. They learned it from. You got that? Read that. 1 Maccabees chapter 8,
The book of 1
verse 26.
Maccabees, chapter 8 and verse 26.
Come on.
Neither shall they give anything unto them that make war.
Come on.
Upon them, or aid them with victuals, weapons, money, or ships.
Come on.
As it hath seemed good unto the Romans.
Who they learn this from? Read it again.
As it hath seemed good unto the Romans.
Come on.
But they shall keep their covenants without taking anything therefore.
Sanctions. He's talking about this whole western part. So y'all ain't gonna be able to trade with none of them over there. If you rolling with America, America ain't gonna allow you to do any of that over there with them. Because the minute you do that with it, what they gonna do? Boom, slap a sanction on you. That's what they do. Back it up a little bit. Because they apply they military pressure. Look how they dividing that up. Don't put it on me, put it on them.
Have parked 1/3 of their naval assets in the Caribbean today. It's to tell the Chinese and the Russians, back off. You want to come here, you either pay a tribute or you'll be attacked. Okay, that's the first point of this strategy. The Western Hemisphere belongs to America. Something that they call the Don Roll Doctrine, okay, which is Trump's corollary to the Monroe Doctrine. Okay, so that's point one. Point two is that America wants to reimagine its relationship with its allies. Basically, NATO needs to pay for its own defense. NATO needs to go fight Russia in Ukraine. America will provide support, it'll provide weapons and financing, but NATO needs to do more work. And in East Asia, South Korea and Japan need to do a better job of keeping China in check. Okay, that's point two. Point three is specific to China. And the idea is the United States does not want to destroy China. The United States does not want to humiliate China, but China needs to be put in its place. China needs to respect the power and the reach of the United States. And how the United States is going to do this is by strangling China economically, right? So if you look at a map of China, most of its trade goes through something called the Strait of Malacca. And the Strait of Malacca is the most important maritime choke point in the world. All America has to do is park naval carriers inside the Strait of Malacca, and China will lose 90% of its energy exports.
But if they parked them there, China would still go through, no?
No, because you have to go for the Strait of Malacca. So America has something called the first island chain. Okay? And the first island chain prevents China from reaching the Pacific Ocean. The first island chain includes South Korea, Japan, Taiwan, the Philippines, and Malaysia. That blocks China from reaching out into the Pacific. So in order for it to access trade, it has to go through the Strait of Malacca. And through the Strait of Malacca, it can access India, Africa, and the Middle East.
Okay.
Right? And so by positioning naval carriers inside the Strait of Malacca, it creates a blockade, and China would have to pay a toll in order to access the Strait of Malacca.
And the fourth one?
And the fourth one is to rejuvenate, reinvigorate America's defense manufacturing sector.
So supercharge the US defense industrial base.
That's exactly correct. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So what this means is that the Pentagon a few weeks ago went to Detroit and talked to Ford and General Motors and said, you know what, because of this war in Iran, we might need.
Yeah, read that.
In April 2026, the Pentagon reportedly held early talks with Ford and General Motors about using their facilities to help produce weapons.
Why not use them to produce cars? Didn't they? Detroit used to be the Motor City.
The Motor City.
Now it looks like Iraq, bombed out and depleted. Shots fired at Detroit.
To produce weapons, munitions, and military components. Officials compared it to World War II's arsenal of democracy, when Detroit car makers converted assembly lines to build bombers, tanks, and guns.
So not cars. Hey, look, they need to build war munitions.
If they build them like they build their cars, we're going to be in trouble.
Right.
To stop making cars and start making more munitions.
How do you know they said that? They published it.
They published it, yes.
Really?
Yes.
So the United States went to Forbes and GM and said, we might need you to start making weapons with your factories.
Yes, and they're happy doing this because the profit margins are much greater for weapons than for cars. This is the Pentagon, so you can charge them as much as you want, and they'll pay for it. Whereas you make cars, it's for the consumer market, and they may not buy your cars, right? So you're like Ford or General Motors. The best deal in the world is to go make weapons for the Pentagon to fight these wars in the Middle East that can go on for forever. So we're in a situation where, okay, look,
if you think about it, that really makes sense now why the Ford vehicle is not that reliable, because they just I'm not a crack on Ford. Well, I am. They just produce it so quick. Get that Ford up out of here so he can make these bombs. That's what they doing. Like, oh, just throw it together and then get back to making munitions. That's what he just said. Like, well, we ain't really too much concerned about him. He probably drives he looks like a proud Toyota owner.
Oh, a Honda.
Oh, Honda, Toyota, Honda, whatever, whatever Ammon make, Moab. He looks like that type of owner. So he's like, all right, well, let's just go to Ford. They don't really too much care about making their cars that sound. Throw it together, get it out there, and let's start making munitions. What's America's motto? Praise the Lord, pass the ammo.
That's right.
That's what they do, right? That's them.
Live by the sword.
That's Esau. Play on. We almost done.
To a lot of people, Trump's an idiot, and this war in Iran.
Back that up. Back it up. Okay, you see, if he knows this, and a lot of his top advisors, they have probably centuries between them of military experience. If I'm not that smart in those areas, I'm going to get around those men that are wise in those areas. This guy said this. Let play it again. Let him say it.
Ford or General Motors, the best deal in the world is to go make weapons for the Pentagon to fight these wars in the Middle East that can go on for forever. So we're in a situation where, okay, look, if you read the news, if you talk to a lot of people, Trump's an idiot.
So listen, Paul, you didn't say it. He said, if you talk to a lot of people, he said, this guy's an idiot. He's a complete idiot. Play on, let's find out why.
War in Iran makes no sense at all. But then if you just read the National Defense Strategy, that is on the Department of War website, and anyone can go there and download it for free and read it themselves. It's a very clear roadmap of what America needs to do in order to maintain imperial hegemony. And so let's just summarize the major points. The first major point is to maintain control over the Western Hemisphere and create a fortress America.
Which is why he invaded Venezuela, and he says he's going to invade Cuba.
Exactly.
Yep. And also Greenland.
Look at all the countries that he's named over the past year. Greenland, Canada, Mexico, Venezuela, Cuba, Colombia, Nicaragua, Honduras. It's all the Western Hemisphere, right? And they're all together. Second point is to create divide and rule all around the world. So imagine a situation where in Europe, NATO fights Russia in Ukraine. In East Asia, China fights South Korea and Japan. In the Middle East, Iran fights the GCC allied with Israel. What does America do? America can now sell everyone.
The Gulf Cooperation Council, comprising Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE, maintains a complex, shifting relationship with Israel, ranging from formal diplomatic ties to deep caution.
So pretty much, Hakim, sum it up. Everything pretty much he just said. You kind of jumped the gun a little bit. Go ahead, sum it up. Everything that I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I don't remember the guy's name, but that's everything what I was saying earlier. That's the point, and I didn't even watch this video, but it doesn't take rocket science to see what they're after if you're not caught up in the bubble of America. They're starting here on the Western Hemisphere. Okay, they're going to dominate that, and then they're going to expand it to the other side of the world, and then they're going to have control over everything. That's what they're after.
That's it.
The hegemony, the world political power, dominate. That's what they want. And then what comes after that? One world religion, and so on and so forth.
So that's basically Trump's theme, is make America great again. But he's not really speaking of just this country. It's the grip that it had on the Western Hemisphere for a long time, and that had been slipping. China had been investing down in Panama, buying ports and stuff, and they realized that they were losing their hegemony over here, and while they were trying to expand into the East. And so Trump wants to reestablish that, and he's going about it in a bully type tactic, and it's going to eventually come to a head, though. You got two major forces come to collide together. They're not going to, China and Russia and them not going to give an inch. And eventually we're going to see the real fireworks. All this pushing and shoving going to be over with. Somebody going to get, what was the name of that cartoon?
Which one?
Where he beat him up real bad.
Oh, Family
Guy.
Stewie.
He gonna get slapped.
That's it.
Where's my money, man?
All right, how much we got left on that? All right, let's finish it out.
Weapons and resources and finance it. This would be back to World War II.
But it makes them weaker as well, generally.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Right? And then what would happen is that $40 trillion that America has in debt, it would disappear because it would be absorbed by the world.
He said that $40 trillion will be absorbed by the world. Once they create all that stuff, because think about it. Trump said, look, I'm not worried about America's finances. I'm not worried about it. Because why? He can just hit the reset or the print button, and boom, that goes to start shooting the currency out. How long is this one? Let's play a little bit of it. Come on.
Donald Trump visited China this May and met with China's President Xi Jinping. This was the first trip by a U.S. president to China since 2017. And it's important to emphasize that it was Trump who asked for this meeting. It was not.
Why China didn't reach out? He said it's important to know that he does not look happy to be there.
He look like he dying.
Yeah, he don't look happy at all. He looks like, I'm here. Okay, I guess I'll play ball a little bit.
He said, I think I'm scaring him with my face.
Right.
Hey, Officer Micah, have you ever watched this show called House of Cards?
Yes.
It's on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of the stuff that's happening is like they're foretelling, everything that's happening on that show. If you watch it, I mean, the different ties and everything that's going on with China, I mean, they put through a lot of stuff in for dramatic effect, but it's very, very similar.
All right, let's get through the first timestamp.
By a U.S. president to China since 2017. And it's important to emphasize that it was Trump who asked for this meeting. It was not China that initiated this. It was the U.S. So this raises the question, why did Trump want to go to China and meet with President Xi? The short answer is that this is mostly about the US economy. Trump launched a trade war against China back in 2018 in his first term, and during his second term in 2025, he massively escalated this trade war against China, but it backfired majorly.
See? There it is. He said, okay, I dropped a little hammer on my first presidency. Second one, I came in, I ramped it up like, I know this is going to get him. Wrong. Didn't work.
China's going to pay for everything. They're going to pay for everything.
Right. Wrong. Play on.
Already facing significant problems with inflation, which has been eating away at the purchasing power of American workers. And Trump's trade war and tariffs have only made this situation even worse. So it is now widely acknowledged in U.S. foreign policy circles, even by the Council on Foreign Relations, that China has the upper hand in these negotiations. Again, it was the U.S. that called for this meeting, not China, because Beijing has the upper hand and the U.S. is in a very delicate situation economically. And the thing about Trump is he has no subtlety. He always says the quiet part loud. And Trump boasted in a post on his Twitter copy website, Truth Social, that he was traveling to China with some of the most powerful billionaire oligarchs in the United States. He wrote a list of the CEO of major corporations who would be visiting China with him, including the CEO of NVIDIA, Jensen Huang, as well as the richest billionaire oligarch on earth, Elon Musk. And these billionaires actually traveled on Air Force One with the US president. They were on the plane with Trump. Elon Musk, who was previously a top figure in the Trump administration until he and Trump had a political fight.
Hold on, go back to that. Did you see? Back it up. Go back to where.
I'm looking to buy Tesla.
You can't make this stuff up. This is. Lord, we go back to the part where him and Trump was talking. Look at the title at the bottom of. Come on, go back forward. Come on. A little bit more. Come on. They probably went past it. Yeah, with Elon and Trump. Yeah, go back to that. You can go back to where they had all the little. Go forward.
They're going too fast, too far.
Come on.
It was like 3 seconds after where we was at. I mean, before where we
Let it play from right there.
Billionaire oligarch on earth,
Yeah, it looks like he's
Elon Musk.
zoned out.
And these billionaires actually traveled on Air Force One with the U.S. president.
But you know what?
They were
What's crazy though? Look, it says U.S. trade representative. They did bring a trade representative there, so don't let that slip by. But play
on the plane with Trump. Elon Musk.
Pause. Look at this. Well, come on. Breaking news. President Trump, I'm looking to buy a Tesla.
I'm looking to buy Tesla.
You cannot make this stuff up. With everything that's going on right now, they put that in there. That's it. But they showed the trade guy there because you know what he got to do? He's got to back off some of those. What's what I'm looking for? Those tariffs that he put on. He got to back it off.
Right.
That's the part they're not telling you. So that's yeah, we over time. We're gonna shut it down right there. We're gonna go ahead and drop that. All right, Israel. All right, I'll see y'all. If you could point at the. What the hell is that moving? Over there. All right, so we thank y'all for watching the show. All praise to the Most High, but make sure that you are donating to the Booster Club. You can also text to 646-982-3858. We thank you all for staying with us for the late show. All praise to the Most High. Caption wasn't able to be here with us tonight, but all praise to the Most High. We look forward to them coming back to the show. With that being said, I'm your host tonight, Officer Micah.
Officer Yasa.
Officer Akiem.
Officer Solomon.
And this is Precept upon Precept. We say Shalom.
You're never gonna see this on any mainstream news.
This ain't what you want, this is what you need. Yeah, they made us slaves, hung our kids from trees. I never forget. Nooses on our neck, whipped us till we bleed. And they gotta get it. Hey man, call it Galatians 3:13.
You're now tuned in to Precept upon Precept.
Crew so strange. Look at how low they hang. Oh man, took out the chains. So when the wind blow, we just swing. Much oppression, never kill us. Drinking dreams and it's bitter.